Right, hello, war number 4. We're facing Poseidon. And yeah, definitely a must win war to stay in tier 1. The only change from my team is Black Widow out and Magneto in, right? So Omega Red, the more you know, my main attacker, but then Magneto in for what probably is some metal fights, right? I actually only think it's one. But anyways, we start on pet 5 in section 1, and we also, this war by the way, we face a new defense tactic. It's the untouchable ones, so not high ground. And the untouchable ones, in my opinion, it's like a lesser version of the old school evade one, where like like small champs had a chance to evade and whatever. Basically, um, if a champion evades or you miss an attack, um, they gain like a resistance charge, right? Yeah, reducing 30% damage, which stacks up to 3 times, so they can get up to 90% damage reduction. Uh, and yeah, you can get rid of it by intercepting, which of course you don't want to risk in some scenarios, right? Like if you're forced to intercept, well, with me at least, if I'm forced to intercept, then I often mess up, right? If I'm not forced to intercept, I can get like uh, way better intercepts off. Um, but yeah, you just use jams that counter evade, right? Or miss in that regard. Of course, you can't forget that it's also miss and not only evade. Um, Now the thing is, Hitmonkey does evade and is also affected by the defense tactic, but Omega Red does not counter evade, and here you see that he evaded my heavy and he got like that. It's the same symbol, I think, as the untouchable ones, but he gains like a resistant passive. Um, but yeah, even with 30%, it's not that bad. And honestly, because Omega Red is a good Hitmonkey counter because he can ignore the shrug, but he can't ignore the evade. Um, Now he has a very predictable evade if you like slow combo it, like you can still hit him and then back off if he evades. Um, or of course you only hit him while stunned, which I could have done and probably will do in the future as well. Uh, because if I heavy and the second part of my heavy does not connect and he can evade that, he actually can counter me, right? So that's a little bit I need to be um, careful with. So yeah, then we have the Cork on the Mixmaster. Prefer this fight 10,000 times over Nick Fury, just because I'm not taking that much damage from block. Um, I can do the medium light ones here, which I was doing against Nick Fury, and then I realized, oh shit, that was my tactic against Cork, because here I actually do counter his SP1 with just a regular medium hit, right? Um, so yeah, a very fast fight and also a very healthy fight at that with Omega Red. Then section 2, I waited here a little bit because I also have a mini. So someone tagged me, and then I said, oh yeah, okay, everything is clear. I can go for this. Um, this one was a pretty, I wouldn't say weird. I wouldn't also say a mess up, but it was a little bit weird. Well, actually, I would consider it a mess up, I guess, right? I don't think it was not a game or anything else. It was a mess up, but just a weird one. First of all, I didn't realize that the Sterox was unduped, honestly, because I was trying to wait out his rock field. Because I think the war before or the war before that, um, I finished the boss, the Terex boss. So I just in my head every Terex is duped and started with rock field. Um, so yeah, that was a mistake, and then you saw that I accidentally parry. I actually don't think I did parry, um, but I probably, in me trying to dex away or just dash back, but it was more like a dex because I wanted to keep the space going because I thought he had Rockfield, right? So I'm not just recklessly dashing back. No, I'm trying to keep my space, my distance, keep my distance, and then if he comes at me, I dex or dash away. And in that late dex, I would call it, because I'm holding my finger on my block or on the left side of the screen, I try to dex away, I parried accidentally, right? Um, it is something that at times does happen because I'm also just used to reparrying and etc. It's like I'm trying to kind of not shallow dex, because shallow dex is actually not triggering dex. It's like the opposite. It's like very late dexing, but you're risking to get parried. Or no, not risking to get parried, but you're risking to parry them, which of course in a fight with stun reflection you don't want to, right? But luckily I'm of course boosted because, as I said, important war, but I'm also not planning on dying. Um, and his rock field was not active, etc. So um, it was just some chip damage, rank 3 Omega Red as well. Then we got this Gilly 99, and in all that time I talked about the Terex fight, a minute has passed, which actually does not seem too long, but honestly with my fights with Omega Red it does seem long. I'm just trying to get some prowesses and get to my SP3, and honestly I didn't even need that many prowesses. As you see, the first hit already KOs Gilly. But yeah, it was just a regular, I guess, Magneto versus Metal fight. At the start, you just don't want to parry still, right? The node can fail, if not mistaken, right? So it can be that your parry does stick, but it's only a 70% chance, I think, with the AR reduction of um, Magneto against Metal Champs. Um, yeah, you don't want to risk it. But then when the icon or the cooldown timer is gone, then you can parry. And the first time, because it is on cooldown on pet 9, the first time um, it's actually it didn't go away. The second time it did go away, meaning that the stun reflect node thingy uh, is not there anymore, and then I could parry regularly. Sorry, if I can. Some words are hard to pronounce, man. Yeah, then I got this Kingpin fight, and oh my god. No, I was actually relieved that it was not like a Killmonger thing. Sometimes, like, I don't mind those fights anymore, but I still feel like that might be a fight I maybe mess on or like I die on, right? Even though from last season, where let's say the Killmonger fight lasted like less than a minute, and I think Sting this season? I don't know. Yeah, but no, this fight here, oh my god. As you can see, I'm not gonna do it in slow motion. I made it in slow motion in the chat, in our alliance chat, because the text said unstoppable when my hit connected on his belly, but he did not have a unstoppable buff anymore, right? So yeah, it was a little bit annoying because the fight was pretty much done. I had like, I think 80% health left, and he had 13%, or Kingpin had 13% health left, and then I ended with less than 20% health left with the remaining 13% of Kingpin, right? But I do think on that note you can pretty much use anyone because it's not protect anymore, right? But yeah, Omega Red, safe option in my opinion. Just need to play it stun immune with other champs. That works as well in my opinion. Um, um, if you have white max, you can use a poison champion or a bleed champion, right? Because even though if he shrugs it, his timer still goes on cooldown, right? So that's a possible option as well, or just ghost it, right? That's also an option because she still gains power through her like miss mechanic. Um, but yeah, either way, still didn't die, thank God. And we did win this war. Was 15-5. Yeah, and let's continue getting these wins. And hopefully just not die more than 5 times, and then we are in a good spot, because I think that's now kind of the standard, I think, in these tier 1 wars, like more than 5 with these new defense tactics, and most likely you will not win against like the top 10 alliances currently, etc. Right? But yeah, we'll see for the next war where we'll at, and yeah, thanks. Bye.